Welcome, everybody. We are back and we are live. It's the 30 with Justin and Karen. It's just Justin today. Karen couldn't make it. We are really busy at work. And so getting these things in and getting both of us here is sometimes a bit of a challenge. However, let's get into today's guest. We got 30 minutes, so let's get it done. Today's guest, someone truly inspirational and special. Sarah Hounslow is the incredible mom behind the Jayne Foundation, created in memory of her daughter, Jayne, a young girl whose kindness and generosity left a lasting impact on everyone around her. Sarah's taken that spirit and turned it into a mission to help other kids in the Halton region access extracurricular activities that they deserve. So we're so honored and actually really blessed to have you on today, Sarah. I appreciate you. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm doing great today. Thank you for
Excellent.
asking. Thanks for having me.
Well, let's start with let's start with the simple stuff. Can you tell us a little story, the story behind the Jayne Foundation? Who was Jayne and what made her so special?
Sure. So the Love Jane Foundation, obviously, it came from a need. It came from a need to get out of a dark place. I think for anybody that has gone through that type of loss, it's a really tough space to live in for a long period, a little bit live in at all, but especially for a long period of time. And I think that you need to find purpose in those moments. And so this was sort of a light for me to find purpose in her life, in the gift of having her at all, and to be able to turn that into something that can give back and continue to give the love and joy and teachings that she brought to us, and hopefully in a big way. And so that was sort of the purpose behind how it
let's
started.
let's go back a little bit and just sort of
Sure.
say, like, I know this is the hard part when we have these conversations, but let's
Yeah.
go back a little bit and just say, okay, so Jayne was your daughter,
Yeah.
and there was a terrible accident. Can we talk a little bit about how
Yeah,
that
I'm
came to
good.
be? And
Yeah, we can
yeah,
we can
like
talk
I
about
just
it.
want to make sure people understand the gravity of what happened and where this kind of
Yes,
how this kind of came out of the sort of situation that happened.
absolutely. Yeah. So Central Public School, my daughter was there. She was in grade 3, and they have a concert once a year, and they do two concerts, one in the day and one at night. And my son was in kindergarten, so um, you can attend one of the two concerts. And because my son was in the kindergarten class, there was the early afternoon concert, which is what we had attended, and we went to drop my daughter off for the evening concert. And unfortunately, because of a terrible accident, she was struck by a car, and she passed away essentially in my arms in the parking lot. Maybe a little bit later on, but that's basically what happened. Um, and so it shook the, of course, us, and the community, because they were all sort of part of it.
Bigger than the community. I know all of Burlington was pretty shook. Like it was like everybody heard about it really quick as the news is. And
Yeah.
I think the city as a whole and even a larger, sort of it was shocking news. Like just everybody was devastated for you.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. It was a shock, and it was a tragic accident, and nobody ever expects to go through something like that. And it was a really tough time, a really
Mm-hmm.
tough time.
Mm-hmm.
And the community stepped up in a very big way, which at first was overwhelming, because it felt like every time you come home, there was more flowers and which was very generous, but it's hard, because you want to crawl in a hole and not talk to
Constant
anybody
reminders,
and
constant
not see
reminders. Yeah.
anybody. And that's just, you're gutted. It's your world as you know it is not your world anymore. And you feel empty and you feel broken and you can't fix it. And most of the things in our lives we can fix, we have control over it, or we have an influence. And this situation, you don't. It's final.
It is, yes. So and the hard part for outsiders is we don't know. We don't understand your
Hmm.
pain. We
Hmm.
can see it but we don't understand what it really feels like. This isn't the first person I've come across. I have a good friend that lost their 12-year-old daughter. I have other people in my life that have lost young children, and I'm blessed. We've
Mhm.
gotten 3 kids to where we've gotten them,
Yeah,
um, and so, um, but you're absolutely correct. I mean, life is precious,
it
and
is. Yeah.
you don't know when your last day will be, whether you're a child or an adult or anybody in between. And when you hear stories like this, it really drives home the mortality, the sort of thing of like the finality of that
Yeah.
moment, and the idea that you have to be incredibly grateful for everything you have, and life is precious. So
Yeah.
I can empathize, but I really don't. It's hard, right? And for us outside, we think I'll drop off some flowers, I'll bring some food,
Which I
because we want to try
appreciated.
to.
It's not that I didn't appreciate it.
No, of course not. Of course
It's
not.
just
But
you're
it's
living
just
in
that
this
constant
Groundhog
reminder.
Day of, yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. That's right. And honestly, it got to the point where it's like it's a full-time job to water all these flowers.
Yeah. Yeah.
But but so that's sort of what we were living in, and I knew um pretty early on after losing Jayne. I knew that
And remind me
her
again, grade 3 is how old? Just
she was 8.
8 years old. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It was tough.
And she was larger than life. She pushed every boundary. She was she made an impact everywhere she went, this girl.
Yeah.
And I knew that in my heart that she was not here to tear us down, to ruin our lives because of the loss of her. We needed
Right.
to focus on what she taught us, what she
Right.
brought to us, and we needed to find a way to be able to carry forward and bring that with us, bring the love
Right.
that she had for us and for life, and for everyone else, and be able to figure out a way to move forward in the most positive way that we could.
So there's
Um,
this moment where you sort of realize that this foundation is something you almost have to do
mhm,
in a way to not only carry on the legacy of this beautiful child,
yeah.
but to help others appreciate what they have in the moments that they have. Right? Is that what I'm hearing here,
Absolutely. I
kind of?
think there's that piece of it, and then there's something so powerful about in your darkest days to be able to focus and redirect some of that energy to how can we use this to help other people?
Right.
How can we use this to touch other lives? Because it gives you a different perspective and outlook. And I think for anybody that's struggling with whatever they're struggling with, the idea of giving back and seeing that the world is bigger than you are and putting things into a different perspective and being grateful for that which you do have is very powerful.
Well, and it's also interesting to see that your outlet went that direction, because I know there's a lot of people that have gone through this sort of thing where their outlet is not that direction.
Oh, for
It's
sure.
drugs, it's alcohol, it's like you said, you want to crawl into a hole, you
Yeah,
want to isolate, you want to disappear, and those problems get worse. And families don't survive, and people don't survive, just the long-term effects of that incident.
and mine
Um,
didn't.
well,
And so it
and so there's
snowballed from there.
so to your point, so there you go. So you
Yeah,
were able to, and however that came down and came together, I understand completely that there is side effects of these things
mhm,
that we don't know how people are going to react. I've
yeah,
been through mental health issues myself, and you can't. It's hard. It's really hard to understand. I'm a very logical person, and I feel like I can, I used to say, choose your attitude and control your
yeah,
emotions, and those sort of, hypey things that you hear from stage when you hear motivational speakers and things like
right.
that. But when you get yourself into a position where that doesn't work the way, like that doesn't
Yeah,
connect with the physical push of what you're trying to do,
yeah,
what do you do at that point, right? And so I love the mindset of turning it into something positive, even though you had all this stuff happen. Um, Tell me a little bit about the primary mission of the Jayne Foundation and how that kind of all pieced together.
sure. So I think in situations like that too, you almost kind of take a step back and give yourself space to let it breathe. I knew I wanted to do something that was going to be helpful to kids. Um, and I just had this idea of how can we, yes, help children, but help them in a bigger way. Something, the word trajectory kept coming into my brain where it's like it needs to be able to have enough impact that it has the ability to change the trajectory of somebody's life.
Right.
This is this is what we're trying to do, and we're putting the pieces together as we're building it. But the big picture journey here is how do we impact children by giving them the ability to do something that they're passionate about for a longer period of time, which gives them the opportunity to build friendships, build confidence in themselves in something that they love to do, have the ability to do it for a longer period of time so that they know it's that consistency that they have in their lives. And so we're working with the schools because the teachers are typically the ones that see this. So we're working with teachers to have them identify and put their hands up for those children to say, this child is really talented in music. And we really feel that they could benefit from this opportunity. And then we can approach the family because unfortunately, it's typically those children whose parents aren't necessarily the ones that have the ability to put their hands up to say they need help, that need help the most. So we're really leaning in on the school systems to help us to find these kids and then give them the opportunities.
And have you actually connected with certain kids already and started to make that impact? I'm not
We have
amazing.
it, and but we're in a much stronger position now to grow this. So we've worked with a number of kids and put them into after school programs.
Right.
We've done a number of summer camps, but again, for longer periods of time because some of the families just don't have, like, summer camp is, it's expensive. And so we have started, but we are working on how to make this happen because I really believe that, like, as we start to dig in, I'm realizing that we can stretch it even further by creating these partnerships, whether it be Royal City Soccer, who's showed up in a big way for us, or some of these after school programs, which will help to subsidize some of that cost. So then we can get more out of this. So
Right.
we are now sort of setting up our web of different partnerships, and it's just been really beautiful. The people in the community have shown up in a huge way. I'm so grateful for all of the ladies that have also been a part of this foundation because they've kind of taken us from here to here this year, which has been incredible, and just all of the support that we've been able to receive from the
I
community.
really do feel like the measure of a community, a town, a city really comes down to the support that kind of comes from tragic moments,
Yeah,
right? Like, and looking at how people come together in order to fix what's gone wrong, or help the problem, or help the foundation, or help the issue. And I believe, like, I've seen a few of these come together in the last little while, and very similar scenarios with, I haven't we talked with Heba a few months ago, and her son passed away, and she's got a foundation as well for Milton, up in Milton. And
yeah,
it's just like the generosity of us as human beings, and I think the kindness that comes from it is something that we need to marvel at, because there's not a lot of that in the world right now,
yeah.
and being able to come together on a common goal like this is pretty impressive. And I'm
It's
and I'm
beautiful.
yeah.
It really is. And I really believe that anytime you put yourself in a situation to be able to give back to
Mm,
whatever that is, you receive way more than you're actually giving.
mm,
You just what you get back out of that and the fulfillment, you really do. So I would encourage anybody to participate in something. It
mm.
doesn't matter what it is, but find a way to be able to get involved in some way to give back.
There was a wonderful quote that came from one of the greatest presidents that they say ever lived, and not the one we're
Isn't he?
talking
I'm
about more
just
recently.
kidding.
Yeah. And he said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And
Mhm.
I that lives in my brain so much right now, because there's so much of this, like, gimme, gimme, gimme handout kind of mentality for a lot of
Yeah.
people out there. and waiting for the government to do something. And the reality is, we have to control our own destiny. And this is one of the ways you can help,
Yeah.
support an organization that, genuinely will help your community and the people around you. So tell me about one of the hardest parts of running this sort of foundation, something like this. Is there emotional toll? Is there logistical and physical tolls? Like how does this go?
There is. I'll tell you that we started foundation. There was a lot of change in my life personally over the last couple of years. We had to put our house up for sale. That was the family home that we built and put a lot of time and energy into building this perfect family home. And so, you know, boxing up her room, moving my son twice since then, right? So, and then I'm running a business as well. So the time was tight. And my girlfriends could sense that from me. I think that my energy was getting drained, and the guilt I was feeling by not being able to put the time and energy towards the foundation was
Mm-hmm.
showing.
Mm-hmm.
And they showed up in a big way, and they helped to identify some individuals that really wanted to help. And we pulled together an incredible group of women. We've got 12 women, and they all have different skill sets. So to be able to meet on a regular basis and chat through these crazy but great ideas and things that we want to accomplish, and actually see it happening, because the momentum that we get as a team in any situation, but especially in this situation, has just been so incredible. So we've been able to plan more events, and just to see them come to life and success, and again, support that we've received from the community and also local businesses, has just been incredible. So I would say time has been the toughest thing. But by having a team, it's just created this, it's connection, right? A human connection. And I think that it brings so much joy just on a daily basis. I mean, we have a chat group and it hanging, throughout the day, but it's all great stuff. And it just brings so much joy to myself and fulfillment, I think, for everybody that's been involved. So
It sounds like, so that one of the questions I had was one lesson you've learned that you wish you knew when you started, but it sounds like, pulling in support and using, leveraging other people that are willing to help and
yeah.
getting your time back has been one of those lessons.
For sure. Yeah, you can't do it all, and I
Yeah.
always would like to, and I try, but
Well,
it
especially
does take
business
a
owners.
team.
Like I'm, in real estate, we're kind of business owners, right? So, and
Yeah.
you're the same, obviously. And I think we often find ourselves in a position where if we want something done, it's got to be done ourselves because we're the only ones that can do it right. And when you start to realize that there's other people around you, that, that can do the same thing at the same quality of level and that are willing to help
Or better quality in my
or better quality.
yeah.
Yeah. Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. Um, Now we're going to talk about the event in a second, but because I think it's a pretty cool opportunity, but is there sort of a dream project or initiative that you're kind of twiddling around with that you'd like to maybe try to get going, or a lot like within the framework of Love Jane at the moment?
So, well, I would love to grow this. So
Mm,
my dream is to really start to work more closely with the school boards.
got it.
We have sort of a kindness day that we've got spreading, which is amazing. But bigger than that, I think there's opportunity to not only continue to raise money to give back, but also to continue to raise awareness and start to have some of our kids participate in learning how to give back. I mean, the big dream here would be, how do we encourage kids, maybe through the school system, to understand, how do I find a charity? How do
Mm,
I select, something that I think would be a good fit for me? What's the process in giving back? And then experience the fulfillment of doing it. And
mm,
if they get involved in an early age and that becomes part of who they are and what they do, then ultimately you grow a much stronger children and much stronger communities.
mm.
And so if we can start to work through the schools to figure out ways, as school projects or whatever that looks like, to be able to learn how to give back and then understand what they get themselves from giving back. I think we'll raise much stronger communities. So that's, there's the teach part, and then there's
That
the,
is so huge. That is so impressively huge. I love that idea. You've taken this small little thing about giving a few bucks back to the community and helping a few kids. And that what you've just said is like community, city,
mm,
province, country based kind of stuff that actually will drive the future of these child's lives
it
to
should
help them.
be second nature to them, but it's not even a thought. It's like that we do these things, and then there's also a little bit of space for how do we give back? How do we be
Mm,
involved in the community? Because
mm,
strong communities are what is raising our families.
mm.
So,
It's actually really interesting because there's a pros like there's an opportunity in high school for kids to get volunteer hours and things like
mhm.
that. I'm sure you probably
But
know,
it's
and you've heard.
forced. So it's like there's
That's what I mean. I
something,
was just gonna
yeah,
say that. My kid's like, "Oh,
there's
I did my
resistance to
40
it.
hours. I don't care." And I'm
Right.
like, "No, no, you don't understand. Like how much you'll learn from this. What you'll the importance of doing this stuff is to
Yeah.
gain so much experience in this moment to understand what it's like in those moments to do that and to give back."
Hmm.
And I've kind of pushed my kids to do stuff where they give back to help other children and other kids, especially in hockey. And
Yeah,
that's kind of the volunteering they've been doing, which I think is really cool because they had a love for something, and why not pass that love on to other people, if you understand what I
absolutely.
mean there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um support and getting involved, how do we do that if we wanted to help out or get involved in what you're doing?
Incredible. If you can, you're welcome to, or anyone's welcome to take a look at us online, lovejane.ca. And there's opportunities there to volunteer or to help. I would love to connect with as many um, extracurricular activities as we can to start building those relationships and partnerships, um, whether it be in the arts or in sports. Yeah,
Mm. I've got a wonderful friend named Gina who I'm going to connect you with. I'm offline. We'll talk about it,
fantastic.
and we'll
Thank
connect you
you.
because I think there's a really cool connection there for you guys too.
Thank
Just
you.
making myself remember that. So we'll put all the links below for you to connect with the foundation on the in the chat here. So if you're thinking, oh, maybe I can do something here. Now, the
Thank you.
last thing I really want to get into here is because part of the reason why you're here is because one of your friends said, "Hey, you got to come to this
Yeah.
event," and so I would like to talk about this event because we need to get the word out and get some tickets sold for you if we can.
Thank
Tell
you.
me about what's happening.
So on August the 8th at Spencer Smith Park, we are having Elton Ron, who is, you have to check him out online. I'm telling you, he's so
Pretty awesome.
fun. He's
He's pretty
pretty
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, I've seen him
He,
before. He's good.
Elton John, oh, you have? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
Elton John tribute band.
yeah.
And they have graciously, they're donating their time. It's
Wow.
incredible. They sell out large stadiums, so it'll be an incredible show. So it's Spencer Smith from 7 to 11. We are trying to sell 900 tickets. This is my absolute goal. Last year we had an incredible turnout, but this year we really stepped it up because of the team of people that we have and the Rotary Club support. So we have Nickelbrook there. We are selling Walk Off the Earth's new drink. We've got Strewn Winery, Johnny Blonde's Bardot is serving pizza. So it's going to be an absolutely incredible night. Last year was beautiful. It's, you don't get a nicer venue than the waterfront at
Spencer Smith is pretty
Burlington,
sweet. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's an amazing group of people that come together, and it's a ton of fun. So tickets are available through our website or on Eventbrite, and they're $50, and it's absolutely worth it.
The so we'll put those links below too. That is, remind
Okay.
me, August 8th, you said?
Yes, Friday night
Perfect. Friday
coming
night
up.
in
Yeah,
coming up a week and a little bit,
that's
just
right.
over a
So the
week. Yeah,
push
holy
is
cow.
on
So
to
the
keep
pressure's
selling
on to
these
get a few more
tickets.
tickets sold.
You got
We're
it.
gonna post the link below and we're gonna hammer this out there for you
I
because we're
love
pretty
that. Thank
excited.
you.
And I'll probably hop off. I haven't bought my ticket yet, but I'm gonna hop off and buy my tickets right
You
now.
know, we're all very guilty of that. And I think it's a
I know.
generational thing. And so
So
I'm
last minute.
really begging everybody
I know.
because the more we know that are coming, the better off we can be prepared. So if
Yeah,
everyone can kind of buy their tickets sooner than later, we would be very
that's right. I
appreciative.
100% understand. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. We've run a few events and you
Yeah,
get that last minute surge and you're like, I
always.
wish I'd have known a
Yes,
week ago,
we would have had another food truck or
oh, or
another winery or something, right?
or I would have just slept properly at night.
That too. Yes, absolutely. The
That's
pressure's
amazing.
on.
That's amazing.
But I
So,
will say
go
very
ahead.
quickly too, because we just sort of looked at the numbers and this year, well, to date, we've been able to raise over $300,000 for the
Wow.
foundation. So it's incredible, and the amount that we're going to be able to give back to this community is huge. So we're super excited, and anybody else that can come out and support, we would very much appreciate it.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, and just circling back, your daughter is beautiful.
Thank you.
She's a lovely child. She has a beautiful smile and she looked like she had all that life to live. And
Yeah,
you are creating a legacy that will live on. And I can see that now and I can feel that in your heart and from your voice. And so I appreciate what you're doing. It's pretty incredible to take something so horrible and turn it into something so wonderful, which is so difficult to do in this moment. But I appreciate you for sure. So
thank you. I appreciate you
I'm
saying
about
that.
to cry my eyes out.
I didn't even bring Kleenex to share, so.
So all the links are below. The Love Jayne Foundation is all there. And I hope to see you out there. Anybody out there listening, I hope to see you out there on Friday next week because I'll be there. And thank you, Sarah, for being on and sharing your story and sharing your incredible foundation.
Thank you for the opportunity. Very much
Awesome.
appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone. See ya. Have a good one.
Thank you.